A new creature lurks in the darkness. A heavy blade dragged slowly behind a limping, hulking beast. This undead construct, made of dark magic and occult devotion, will hunt you down in any and every catacomb that you and your party put him into. Welcome back to Lemon Courage. Today I'm taking on this towering creature from Bestiarum Miniatures. Bestiarum calls this the Grafted Nemesis Knight, and it's a perfect, large boss for any of your undead, science experiment themed dungeon crawls. This time I'm focusing on 3 areas. First is the skin, where there's a mix of bone and dried skin and other skin. The non-metallic metals, where we've got the gold that has a similar hue to the skin but needs to stand out on its own. And of course there's the textures. It wouldn't be a Bestiarum Mini if there wasn't a playground of textures to interact with. And as always, if you enjoy my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to be a part of my videos, keep an eye out for a post before I go live on Twitch. You can join the chat, watch along with the others, and maybe even be featured in one of my videos. Also, if you want more Lemon Courage, go find me on Patreon, where I've got some behind the scenes, a Discord channel, and some other goodies. Now then, let's get some paint on that brush. Hopefully this works better. I've got my reference up. I saw from the previous videos that my camera wasn't really in the best spot, so I've moved it. You should be getting a better view of everything now. Yeah, I've got my plan for this guy. I know what I'm going to be doing. Calling this one the Wretched Watcher. It's going to be the same kind of black metal that I did before on the neck cuffs. Black metal on the legs. I'm going to go for the non-metallic gold on the axe and the hilt, as well as the pauldron and this little bit of separated arm. And then what I want is actually 2 different kinds of skin / bone on the 2 halves of this guy's design. So like if I bring him right up to you, he's got kind of 2 halves to his head. So I want those 2 halves to be distinct, like visually distinct. So I think I'm going to start with the more dead, fleshy, yummy goodness, and for that I'm gonna think my approach is gonna be very desaturated colors to sort of, you know, really drive home the idea that he's dead. So I've got Flat Earth from Vallejo, Khaki from Vallejo. That'll be like a nice contrast. And then like to brighten it up, either I'll use tar brown or I'll just jump in with the white and like get it that way. And then for the red skin, which is going to be the other half, that'll be, well, when I get there, I'll get there. Starting fresh on a clean palette. Just making sure everything's the way I want it. Thanks to everyone if you were sticking around earlier and watching me try to troubleshoot this this setup. I'm trying to get like more definition out of my camera, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'll stream at 4K, and then it didn't do it. and then my entire computer had like a big hiccup, and was like, ooh, we can't do that. That's not going to work for us. So, what are you going to do? Okay, dark brown, sorry, it's 2 drops, dark brown, and then I'm going to use, I'll use that later for glazing, I'm going to use just some water. I think I talked about it last stream, but I'll say it again. This brown has excellent, excellent coverage. So I only need to mix myself up like one little bit, and it'll do just fine. Trying to be more mindful that I need to have this open, kind of like tilted my hands, so that all of you can see. It's been a common issue when I've been editing my videos is like, oh shoot, you know, no one can see anything. I think today's stream is going to be just me quietly painting. I mean, I'll try and come up with things to talk about, but if someone's in the chat and you want to drop me a topic I can yap about, let me know. Earlier this week, I felt like I was on top of the moon because I made a short about the copper non-metallic stuff that we did on the the Three Bears, and that thing popped off. Then again, maybe I'm just not used to like seeing how responsive an audience is to the YouTube shorts, but like, damn, like, got me all excited. So I wrote up all these articles in Patreon. I wrote one up that was supposed to be like, help me pick out, or not help me pick out, but like vote to choose what I would paint next, which I thought would be kind of fun. And I got a few votes on that, which is pretty good. Definitely gives me an idea of what people are after. Okay, reaching behind this axe is going to be a bit of a challenge. Luckily, this is a section that's supposed to be quite dark, so chances are I won't be touching it much. Let's see if we can get that like little thigh in there. Ooh. I'm not going to worry about scraping up or messing up the bar, the axe in the front, because that's going to get redone later on in the paint job. And frankly, there's just enough going on already. In fact, I might even come back in here with like really dark colors just to emphasize the darkness of it. Alright. Round 1, complete. Round 2, begin. Oh wait, no, I have to do the... Which side is the head? Left side.
I'm practicing my streamer grip, which is the this like funny way of holding the brush that I do specifically so that the camera can see what I'm doing. Because I've gone through hours and hours of footage, and I'm just like looking at my hand, and I'm like, this is unflattering. Not only because, you know, I've got quite a hand, but also because I'm trying to get a good shot of like the painting that's going on, and all I can see is hand. I've like tried to edit around it, but like I'm trying to also film better, be better about like not having my big old hand in the middle of everything every moment of every day. That's where I'm at. Plus I got the camera kind of high up now. It's like closer to my head level, like where I'm actually painting. And so I think this might be a section I make into a little short about layered textures. Because if you look, you can see there's like this stretched out, desiccated skin. There's the bone elements, and those two are quite different textures and quite different, you know, things to depict, you know, with paint. And because they're layered, there's gonna be like an approach to dealing with them. What it comes down to is like all these different spots on the model are gonna have to, you know, kind of rock, paper, scissors and figure out who's gonna take top spot, who's gonna take precedence. It's gonna be whichever one looks better, obviously. But you know what, just for fun, let's make the teeth mummified as well, so that it looks like extra clear that the adopted flesh is like alien to this creature. Yeah. It's a good starting point. I could do a third coat, but I don't think I'll need to. I think the 2 will be plenty. Realizing you can barely see what I'm painting. Okay, I got a couple spots that I want to darken up before I get moving, so I'm just gonna quickly nab my black. This is just the one I'm using right now. I know I said earlier that no, like pigments are not made equal. Blacks are pretty much equal. Why? Because their color comes from carbon, and carbon is a really stable chemical. It doesn't take much to suspend carbon. So pretty much none of the companies have managed to screw up black. So it comes down to A, who do you want to support? You know, in the painting races, and B, what's on your shelf. Like earlier today, I ran out of my favorite red, which is this one. Oh, don't hit camera. this one. AK red. Blood red. Phenomenal red. Absolutely love it. Ran out today. Can't do anything with it now. Me just putting in some shadows where I think they ought to be, because I can always come back in and lighten them up. Interestingly, with like flesh, like any flesh tone, living, dead, fantasy, realism, whatever, you don't need much variation in the coloring to get your flesh effect. It's pretty forgiving that way. I think what it comes down to is, as people, as humans, we're really quite good at spotting different shades in flesh. And so you don't have to put much effort in to make it identifiable as like, oh, this is a darker section of flesh or whatever, because we're so well tuned, we're so receptive to it. That's an example of a section where I'm going to have to go back in and clean it up because it did too much. And that's okay. Mistakes happen. Cool. I think I've got my dark spots, my light spots. I'm going to start sculpting in more really light spots. But I'm going to start with, actually, the bone pieces. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to do the middle pieces. What am I saying? I'm not going to skip any steps. More water on this palette. It is not keeping things as wet as I would like. Okie doke. Alright. My lighter green color. So with the parts that are like desiccated flesh, I'm going off of like what I've seen in like body worlds and in classical painting of like corpses, particularly like in like old religious stuff, and they always depict corpses having this like very tan, dried out color, which is where my thinking is right now. It's like it should be tanned, it should be dry, it should look like this thing hasn't had a glass of water in a millennia. Lost a bit of my tip. It's okay. Happens. I'm gonna have to start mixing in my whites to get my highlight colors going, but this is all good. Can you guys see what I'm doing in the legs? Or is that kind of hidden from view? I love this mess of back muscles that are all out of place. Part of why I love it is sometimes I feel like my back muscles are all out of place. Like this undead guy. People tell me to go to get massages and I was like, no. My back is too bad. No one can save it. Which is dumb, I know. Ugh. Probably not helped by me streaming. Let's be real. But I do kind of wish I was wearing my glasses. That'd be nice. Never miss an opportunity to draw on some textures. Never ever. Beauty. I gotta get the saturation up on this. Not entirely sure how. But very happy with how that looks. I'm gonna get some white in here now. I'm gonna go to my classic. Actually, you know what? No, I said I was gonna use the tar brown, so let's use the tar brown. I'm just, my default is always, you know, go straight to using, mixing your own paints. Oh, this one hasn't been opened yet. Give me a sec. Oh. Okay. Tar brown. Let's see what you got. Smaller brush, I think. Yeah, I need a smaller brush, and I need to mix up this tar brown a little bit more. Looks like it's giving me a little bit of trouble. Today, hey Irene. Today we're painting this guy. We're calling him the Wretched Guardian. And right now I'm doing the torso, which is a mix of like this really stretched out, kind of overworked, overaged skin tones. Well, that's better. Mixed with bone white. And so we got a unique opportunity where we actually have two different textures that are kind of playing together, and they need to be, you know, identifiable, but also they need to play nicely. It is very Dark Souls. It comes from Bestiarum Miniatures, and like all their stuff is very Dark Souls-y. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted. Not all their stuff. Actually, it's not all their stuff. It's just a lot of their stuff. Like, they're very horror-coded, you know? There's no music. Oh! Give me a sec. Application. Interesting. Why? Huh. Why no music? No, you're right. You're right that there's no music. I'm just wondering why I can't find it. Audio input capture? No. Maybe it's because it was minimized. No music. Control center. It is because it was minimized. Okay. It does not like when the window is closed. Now we know. Oh, too loud? Okay. Did I make you go deaf? Did I take your hearing from you? Funky music. Yeah, no, I've been exploring different artists that share their work as like free to use. And this artist, I've got him on my screen. Carl Casey. He is awesome. Makes really cool, really great synth music, like you're listening to right now. And like, yeah, it does have John Carpenter vibes. And because I'm painting like horror themed stuff, I was like, this is the right vibe. This is the correct, as my friend Irene would say, this is the correct vibe. Okay. So the struggle I have right now, as you're kind of seeing me navigate, is like, how do I paint in these bones that I do want to look like sun-bleached and old, while also not losing the skin tones that I've like put so much time into cultivating. And what's going to happen is basically there's going to be areas of overlap, and I'm going to go back over those areas and be like, basically, you know, in this scenario, the bone wins. In this other scenario, the skin wins, you know, and just sort of like arbitrate. Because it can't all be bone, it can't all be skin. Although I will say this is working really well for bone. If any of you are GW painters and you're like hooked on pallid witch flesh, give Scale Colors Tar Brown a try. Freaking good. Yeah. What do you guys think of this guy's teeth? Do we like the teeth? Can you see the teeth? Maybe it's too small to see the teeth. Hold on, I can zoom in. On the teeth. Look at those teeth. Oh! Pearly whites. Alright. Thank you for putting up with me and my interest in teeth. You can see the teeth? Good. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this like bone white and like reinforce it where it needs to be reinforced. Like right here on this rib cage that really ought to be more white than what it's looking right now. Let's just cheat a little bit. No one will know, because none of you are going to tell anyone. because you don't even know what the cheat is. But if anyone watches my video and they're like a serious painter, they're going to be like, hey, I see what you did. Crimes! Calling the police. You can't do that. And I'll say, yes, I can. Because it's my stream. Some gum highlights. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think what I'm going to do is... So the way I have it planned out right now is that this gray section where you can see isn't been painted yet, that's going to be like a reddish skin tone. I think I'll wait until I'm like painting in those reds to come in with like a nice little fine tip gum line. While I appreciate you shouldn't have to do a million layers, and it is a little bit annoying they have to do a million layers, I am loving the color and the behavior of this scale color. Like it blends and has like there's this thing called fall off, which is like you know, when you paint a line. Here, I'll demonstrate. Okay. See on my wrist, my finger? Where it like, this starts bold and then it gets a little bit lighter as you go further along? That's fall off. Paints, the way the pigment behaves, the way the suspension, which is the water that the pigment's sitting in, behaves, can give you a different fall off. And this scale color stuff has some really nice fall off. I mean, like, you can kind of see it, the way that the whites of the bone just kind of like, I don't even have to put serious work into it. They just kind of blend in. Or not blend in, but they like blend evenly as I pull the stroke out. Okay. I'm gonna go reclaim some of those skin areas. This color. So I do actually want them to look quite distinct. And then what I'll be able to do is come in with like a super fine, like a needle tip type of brush, and maybe even paint in some like little muscle fibers, just to, oh, that's bone, whatever, it's gonna be fun. See, this is what I mean, but like, you kind of just have to call the shots in certain areas, and this area that like has this middle chest section, there's just so much going on that like, it's not going to be easy for a viewer to really make sense of it. Even like if it was painted fully accurately, if it was like, this is flesh and this is bone and this is an anatomical view of the flesh bone, like, viewers will struggle. Because of this funny thing called Gestalt, where we make shapes in our head by seeing paint or colored patterns, and if the shapes don't make sense, the head gets upset. If you've ever seen like a cartoon character where you're like, oh man, these characters are just so likable, it's because they have good character shape. If you look really, really closely at some popular shows like Gravity Falls, you can see the actual shape of your characters there are like, you know, consistent, like across the character designs, but also you'll probably like other shows where the characters have similar shapes. Case in point, Simpsons. They have a very distinct shape. Alright. If I ever worked my legs out enough that my leg muscles looked like this guy's leg muscles, I would go to the hospital. I'd be like, nope, this is not good. I'm out of here. That was enough for me. And this mess of back, like this area, it's still a little bit readable. You can kind of see like there's brown areas, there's white areas. The back, no. I think I'm just going to have the spine readable, barely. And everything else is just going to be, you know, good luck. This song is like how my heart's beating right now. It's like, don't mess up. Okay. That is a good amount of... Oh, I missed a whole area. Oh. It's okay. I'm saved. You can barely see it, but kind of here. Right there. Right behind that elbow. That's the area I'm talking about. Some people would be like, who cares? Who's going to see it? Me. And the occasional YouTube viewer who's like looking through carefully to spot errors, because people do that. Alright. Cool. Looking good. I can still go like more with highlights. But I think for now it's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back around with a wash and when it's dry. And that should pick up some of the sculpted details, and I can come in again with a really, really light color and call out the parts that are more stringy. With that being said, on to the red half of this guy's crazy... Oh wait, no, hold on. I'm going to give it a little bit more. Zhuzh up the head a little bit more. Treat it more like a skull, I guess. What a vibe, guys. What a vibe. I'm doing some serious detail work. I'm going to see if I can get you guys in close so you can see it. He says, and then immediately ruins it. Yeah. Looks kind of like a head. You can kind of see an eyebrow. You can kind of see where the eye is. Yeah. Yeah. Good. All right, back out to where you were. Red time. Okay, so we're talking about red flesh, and like when I say red, I mean like Red Hulk, Anti-Hulk. Like shades of red to pink. Unfortunately, my favorite red, I'm out of. I might try and squeeze some of it out of the bottle, but like I really don't have much to go on. This red, a classic. I got heaps of this. When I did my Worm Monk, I did like a contrast paint first, but then I ended up spending the entire time painting over it, so like it was kind of a waste of time. So. This is going to be one of my colors. I'm stating it. I need to quickly open up my drawer of many, many paints and find some other colors to go with the red. This. A bit more of a brown, but I'll take it. This might do it. But we're looking kind of too healthy, you know? Thanks for hanging out, Not Best with Names. Have fun doing whatever you're doing. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think that's going to be our reds for today. Unless I can find something that's like really pink. But I do have just straight up pink. Which would be like an interesting take. I'll just leave that out. Shout out to Julia if you're there, because you left me that paint and I use it and it's freaking awesome. Oh, here we go. This is what I want. That's what I want. Yes. Pink flesh. That's what I'm going for. Alright. We got our reds. We don't quite have like a super red. Again, because mine died. But that's okay. This is going to look plenty red as is. So starting with this one, this is the, let's just move all this stuff out of frame, because we don't actually need it all to be there. This is a vibe, god damn. Alright. Up first, burnt red from Vallejo. Very solid color. If I need to make it blacker, I'll just add black. This is a high coverage paint. Also, if you're ever shopping around paint shops, or your boyfriends are like, honey, can you go get me paint? Games Workshop likes to market base color paints, layers paints, and other ones. Washes, I guess. And some technical paints. A base color paint is a paint that has a lot of coverage. A layer color paint is something that has not as much coverage. Best way to put it. This one, lots of coverage, as you will see in but a moment. As we get into... Oh yeah. As we get into this red side of this creature. I will be making a super dark version, because I can already see there's sections that I want to carve out as like being very shadowed. Huh. Interesting opportunity here. You know what? I'm going to take it. I'm claiming this muscle. It's going to be a red muscle. I think it will add to the sense of integration that this foreign limb is supposed to have. Some of my viewers have wanted to see, like, how does the pre-shading go? And I'm going to do that on my future models. But, like, you can see from my painting process how little of it I really use. Like, I almost always mud over, you know, pretty much all of the pre-shading. The primary use of my pre-shading is so I can take photographs of it, put it into Procreate, which is a drawing software, and plan out what I want to paint. That's the main purpose. I mean, usually I'll keep the lighting scheme that I've got, but like, that's it. I'm following a different plan. I'd show it to you, but I would be setting up a whole other thing in OBS. Oh, but I will publish it in Patreon. So if you follow me on Patreon, you can keep an eye out, and I'll definitely put up the planning doc for this model. I kind of had one for the previous one, the 3 bearers. I only really did it for one of the 3 models that I did. By the way, not doing 3 models at a time again. That was just a lot. Ugh, I'm already loving the contrast of like the red with like the other flesh. It's giving me such like Venom vibes. This wouldn't have happened if I just jumped in. Like, when I was doing my paint planning, this was not going to be red. But then I started doing my planning, and I was like, you know what? I've got to contrast the green. And I was playing around with ways to do it. And then I, like, accidentally left the darkness of my paintbrush a little bit too dark. Or as Irene calls it, dark. Darkness. Anyways, and I ended up with like a really, really dark, like red arm. And I took a moment to look at it and appreciate it. And I was like, you know what? I love this. I want this. And that's what the plan turned into. And I love when plans kind of do that. Okay, this is borderline too thick as a paint. It's going to be okay, but for the purposes of teaching, I would stop and say, like, hey, thin out your paint. But it's okay. It's only a little too thick, and I don't feel like stopping right now, and it's not an area that's, like, very delicate. Oh. be able to hear my dog in the background. Just going bonkers. It's probably somebody at the door, but I am busy. So in this moment, I was like getting closer to the front of the face, and my brush was just a little too heavy. So I just turned back, hit more of the flat face so I can dump some paint, and then I can come back to the front of the face when I've got less on it. That's just a little trick to managing your paint load without having to resort to painting your thumb a whole bunch of different colors. This music is such a vibe. I cannot believe how much I'm enjoying it right now. Like, this is me locked in. This is where I want to be. Alright. Already I'm liking this a lot. Yeah. Let me get a little zoom in on that. Oh. I gotta make it lighter, but it's a very, very good starting place. Oh, I gotta do the other hand. But if I got you zoomed in already, I might as well do it zoomed in. Probably a funny angle you can't even see. Because I'm not in frame! Funny guy. Alright, I'm gonna zoom back out. Having a real ball of a time getting these under knuckles that are actually quite difficult to reach. That is okay. Beautiful. Alright, as you guys can see, so many fun textures to do fun stuff with in this model, and I am rearing to get into it. I haven't even got into the metals. Great. Yes. Very, very fun. Big fan. Yeah. Switching to this second color. This one. Bugman's Glow, which this is technically a base color, but I want it anyways because it's like a nice transition. Normally, like if I was painting alone and I wasn't on stream, I'd probably just like jump straight to the pink flesh or the bright flesh, and just like blend my own mixes in between. But I know that's a pain in the butt for my viewers because they don't mix paints as much as I do. So actually, like calling out the paints I'm using in between, probably a better approach. Uh-oh, she's plugged. Boop. There we go. Okay. Again, it's a base color, which means you can thin it out pretty easily because it's got heaps of coverage. Although even that might have been a little bit too juicy. Juicy meaning too much. We'll see. Alright, start at the easiest part, big straight lines. Easy because you don't have to question whether or not they'll be highlighted, they will just be highlighted. Oh, look at that. See? Coverage! I thought I had over-thinned that paint, and yet still it is doing its work. Okay. I am going to thicken it up. It is kind of irritating. See, that's almost too thick. My goodness. With this being a little bit thicker, I can tackle some of these other parts that, like this musculature, very neatly, very nicely. This is some intense music. It's helping me, like, focus, like, lock in, as the kids say. But it's also, like, I'm recognizing very intense. my headcanon for this creature is that they were the subject of some strange ritual where they were, I don't know, probably a real soldier at one point, dug up and unwillingly added into this ritual wherein, you know, they're imbued with the power of these external arms that, for the benefit of like the scariness, arms that they cannot control, arms that like the way I like to think of it is that the body is on for the ride, the brain on for the ride, the arms are their own entity. And they like, it's almost like the arms themselves are parasitic, have a parasitic relationship with the host. Except the host is, you know, unable to do much about it. And the people external to the host, which is the people doing the culty stuff, don't want to change anything because they like what they're getting. They're like, no, why would you change this? We asked for this. Is there a soul trapped in there? Yes. Definitely. Because, like, what's the benefit of something terrible happening to a creature if it has no soul with which it can witness it? You know? Like, the whole point of a scary movie is you got innocents who are trapped. If they were not innocent, if they were guilty, it wouldn't be a scary movie. It would be a Tarantino movie. Okay, that was a little too much juice. That's okay. Oh. So many textures. I've been looking forward to painting this for a while. Because I thought that this is a series that I like. They're all from Bestiarum. It's not a coincidence that I've been painting only Bestiarum miniatures. There's not like a deal or anything. I just like printed out a bunch of them because I was going to do a whole series. And then of course things didn't work out the way I expected. And so I just went with what I already printed out. And this one's been sitting on my desk looking at me, and I've been like, I'm gonna paint you. And now that I'm here, I'm in heaven. I'm so happy. Those aren't clothes. I haven't painted the clothes yet. That's not clothes. That's bones and flesh. That's the desecrated leftovers of whoever received these limbs. Willingly or unwillingly. In my head, unwillingly. I am thinking to myself, like, should I make the bony parts of this like a little bit more bony to match with the other part? And I think I'm gonna go with no. Even though they might look the same, I like the idea that there's the color difference. That you unmistakably know that, like, this elongated, alien-looking arm is, like, totally not part of this person's natural anatomy. I want it to be, like, really obvious that, like, these were an add-on. These were DLC. Corporeal, fleshy, horrible DLC. Waiting for my friend Irene to be like, thanks, I hate it. Alright. Now that we have highlights in these different places, and like a pretty good gradienting. Not the best, but pretty good. I can make it better. But I also need to move on. Let me just do the head. I'm glad you love it. I love it too. It is one of the creatures that I saw, and it was like, this one. I'm gonna love this one. Making a split shade here, which is a half and half color between the original red and this stuff. Okay. Great. I don't know how well you can see the that's a beautiful face. Lumpy, full of like horrible growths, and yeah. Also, I'm really appreciating the hard work my camera's putting into this right now. There's no way that AI, masking would be able to get this kind of a clear bokeh effect. Oh! That is just awful. As promised, I'm gonna get some pink into those teeth. Woo! Dang. This is the appropriate time to be like, dang girl, you sexy. Respectfully. Okay. Making myself that nice gums, like pinky gums kind of color. I think I got it. Yeah. So this is earlier. I don't know if you were on the stream earlier, but the stream was going on and off and on and off. It's because I was like, I've switched up some of my hardware so that I can I can capture in 4K. Unfortunately, my computer doesn't like that. So pretty much as soon as I had the 4K up and running, the computer got hot and was like, nope, I'm out. We're not doing this. So, unfortunately, we will not be streaming in 4K. I would love to, but we're not. Sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm trying to get these teeth done right. Okay. A little bit of the pink. I gotta come back in still with more white on those teeth, but you got your pink gums. I think I'll be able to get like more pinky gums when I've got lighter colors going on. But for now, it's there. You're welcome. Okay. Now, I said I was going to do non-metal... Oh, wait, I'm not done with the flesh part. Calm down, Hugh. Pig flesh. Oh, I'm excited for this part. This is going to be the really fun part. I'm going to be using like a really strong highlight on this otherwise very red skin tone. And that always makes things look extra unhealthy. And we like extra unhealthy. Ooh. Speaking of, I forgot there was yellow in this paint. Okay. Oh! I hope you're ready for, like, just the worst. I'm so sad that Ty couldn't be here to watch. I think he would love this. I think this would be like right up his alley. Wait, are you making fun of my breathing? Can you hear my breathing and it sounds like a plane engine? Is that what the plane engine is? You monster! People in the chat, let me know. You enjoying this music? Because I sure as hell am. Okay. We are making excellent progress. Nice. Free eyeball. What do you think of this eye? Totally unintentional, but I'm keeping it. Look at that. Oh, it's so upsetting. Oh, man. Love it. Absolutely love it. Alright. I think I'm happy with the reds. I could do more on them, but I don't really feel a need to. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in some dark red on that tongue. And then I'm going to start painting up the gold parts. Non-metallic gold. I'm sorry, non-metallic metal colon gold. Just throwing a little bit of that dark red right in the mouth. Just so that it's there. So that no one can tell me the mouth isn't done. And I'm just going to carve out that eye a little bit. What a great eye. I just can't get over it. It's so good. Oh, so upsetting, but so good. Alright. On to the non-metallic gold. So, non-metallic metal, the last one that I did, I realized I only really used 3 colors, which was the base warm tone, which in this case is going to be, I'm going to reuse, I think the brown, honestly. the brown worked really well as like a base tone, and plus it'll like bring some familiarity to the rest of the model. I do like to reuse paints, because they will give like a specific, it'll look more like, oh yeah, that's the right color. Brown through golden yellow and white. I think that's gonna be it, because copper is like red, gold, white, and gold is brown, gold, white. So we're revisiting this, the flat earth, big fan, and we already have some in the palette. My second favorite color, golden yellow, I use it everywhere. And then matte white, again, just a solid, good white. And we're gonna have ourselves a good time. According to my sketch, the gold is gonna be on the pauldron on the shoulder. Hold on, let me get the white pointer. So it'll be the gold here, he says. There. The gold in here, and then the gold on the wristband, and then also on this weapon and the base of the hilt. These chest pieces and the neck and the boots are all going to be the black metal that I did on the other models. So yeah, let's get at it. And can I also say we're making great time. We've only been here for about 2 hours and we're most of the way through the model. Water! I need water! Yeah, revisiting pigments, like reusing the same color for multiple parts of the model, works well, primarily because it's like how you establish a theme in your painting. Oh, gold. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of this, actually. There we go. More flat earth. For all you flat earthers, of which I know Irene famously is a flat earther. I wish the neckerchief was gold. Oh well. I don't feel like straying from my plan. I like my plan. Alright. Brown applied there. Great. More brown on this wrist cuff. The funny part is, if you think about it, you can make non-metallic metal out of anything. You just need a dark, a medium, and a light. And then white. Like, you can make non-metallic metal purple. Or non-metallic metal green, or whatever. There are no rules. And there are rules. There are rules on how you do non-metallic metal. But there are no rules on what colors those have to be. They can be anything. I'll be frank, I'm probably reusing this brown again on the clothing. Okay. Got my brown down. I'm gonna go ahead and give these little spikes, because I've been wondering in my head what to do with them, and I think I'm just gonna make them bone, because I don't actually have that in my plan. So I'm just gonna make them bony, which is just brown on the bottom, the light tan color on top, bone, simple. I got friends who used to play the old Warhammer fantasy stuff, and there was an army that was just all skeletons. They would tell me about how bored they get painting bones. And I totally believe it. It can be very boring. Well, that's an example of paint that's too thick. It's okay, because this part of the model is not particularly texture sensitive. It's still not ideal. Alright. Great. Brown part's painted. Let's start making some yellow memories. I don't know how you can even see what I'm doing, but I hope so. Feeling good. Alright. Repeat that same process, but with a little bit lighter. And a little bit less coverage. I'm going to continue on the axe, because I'm super zoned in on the axe. That is a little too thick. A little bit less, please. Yeah. This is some good music for focusing, to be honest. Loving it. Let's pull my headphones off. Come on. Big ass cable. Alright. a little more yellow, and repeat again. Pretty soon we'll be switching over into the whites. Okay. Now we are really into the yellows. We're going to try and punch in some pigment here. Oh, that's the... That's not part of the X. Sometimes mistakes happens, folks. See, it's just layering. Alright, I'm feeling good about that. Now I just need to get some white in there. And with white, well, you got yourself some soup. That's okay. I told everyone that you were a flat earther. Oh, that's okay. Oh, you know what? I already have pink here. Maybe I'll just use the pink. I already have the pink. I'm just gonna use the pink. Oh, my brush is dirty. Don't drink the forbidden water? What forbidden water? Oh, don't worry. I have my own forbidden water. It's this stuff. I'll drink that. Oh god, that's good. Do 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 do. No. I think that the golden details indicate the power and respect commanded by these ill-gotten limbs. That they are such a terrifying presence that they are decorated in gold as if like a warning of like, don't mess with this guy because you might get, you know, really hurt. But I guess, like, in a D&D sense. Like, in a D&D sense, yeah, he would be a high-level creature. If that's what you're asking. Okay. I take back what I said. I can't use the pink. The white, it is. The pink is just too strong. And it kind of, like, pulls it a little bit more red. And I want it more gold. So, yeah. It's got to have the yellow undertones. Sorry, pink. Didn't work out. Next time, though. Yeah. That is better. Am I planning to use him in the campaign, or is he just for the funsies? He's just for the funsies. The campaign I have with you guys right now is, like, very sci-fi. So he wouldn't really fit in. But who knows? Maybe one day. I do have all these models now, and nothing to do with them. Maybe I will come up with a devious campaign for you all to trudge through. And maybe I'll write it up and publish it so that my viewers here can, you know, give them a try on their own. Okay, that looks nice and gold. Let's do the wristy cuffs. How's this camera angle, by the way? Are you like able to see a little bit better of like what I'm doing? Because I know previously when I had the camera set up, my hand was just kind of in the way all the time. It's like really obvious to me when I'm editing. A one-off in the future of these creatures? Yeah, that'd be fun. I was actually thinking about giving away models to my subscribers. Letting them do fun stuff with it. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a good amount of shiny gold. Yeah, cool. Alright. Finish that non-metallic metal bit to a degree that I'm happy with, at least. There is always more. I say, demonstrating exactly that. Okay. This is exactly what I was worried about happening in my sketch. And I tried to avoid it. And you tell me if I did a good enough job. The issue that I'm worried about is, does the gold blend in too much with the brownish flesh color? I think it's fine. I think it is, like, it stands out enough on its own. But you tell me. At any rate, I'm going to continue on doing flesh tones. Sorry, doing the cloth, and then the final. I'll quickly bang out the bones, and then I'll do the cloth, and then the last thing remaining will be the black metal, which is my favorite part because it's the easiest part. Cloth time. This guy, a man of the cloth. So we are starting this time with khaki. Yep, khaki from Vallejo. And we will build up from there. Yeah. Ooh, I'm actually going to make this darker. I want a darker base tone. So I'm just going to make some black into it. And just got a little bit more of a dark khaki. It's a little bit too light the way it is. Oopsies. Much better. Yes, a dark khaki. You can tell by the way I highlighted it before that I really wanted to spend time showing off all of the details in this weird, messed up cloak. And I will. It is still very much part of the plan. Hell yeah. So Irene, how's your soup? Is it Adam Driver worthy? Is it good soup? Do 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 do. Get another round of khaki in here. Gotta go. All right. Have a good evening. Thanks for joining. I'm probably going to call it at 9. If I haven't finished by then I'll pop on randomly during the week for like a really quick, just to bang it out. Because we are quite close to being done. Bit longer than expected. But that is okay. Okay. Regular khaki color. For the details on this thing, I'm just going sideways, like doing side swipes. Not sure how well it's showing up on camera, but just these little sideways lines. Works really well for like just generic, really any fabric. I guess even more so if your fabric is tortured and evil like this guy's. And to bring it to life, some of that bone color. Just a little bit though. I have to switch to a smaller brush. I can get a little bit further with this brush, but then I'm going to have to give it up for a tighter brush, because it's reaching its limit of what it can do, like the limit of detail I can get out of it. Okay. Gonna be going with a tiny brush. This time I think I can use the pink, but I won't. I'm gonna stick to the bone. No, I'll get a bit of pink in there. Oh yeah, that is a strong highlight. Going to want a very, very light touch for this. Okay. Beautiful. On to the back. Woo! Man. I am almost there. No, it doesn't. That's right. Last little bit. Just down here at the feet. Okay. Alright, I'm very happy with the cloak. Very happy with all that. And Encoding overload. Oh, you know what? My processor's probably like, oh, I'm dying. Oh, but that's okay. Just one last little bit to do, which is the blackmetal, and I guess also the ground. But I might just like do it off stream and then film a promo separately. Gotta clean this one properly because I worked it pretty hard just now. And when I say worked it hard, what I mean is I kind of let the paint dry way up to the top. Just not supposed to do that. That's okay, because we washed it out. Alright. Soap away. This here. I'm going to stick to the same recipe I did last time because it worked really well. Which is a base coat of petroleum gray. Highlights with... Geez, what did I use to highlight? Was it this? Or was it this? Hold on. I got it written down. Well, not written down, but I got it like, you know, I can pull it up. This and no socials, paint swatches, Petra Gray, matte white. Oh, and French blue. That was what it was. French blue. Okay. So petroleum gray. This one here. French blue. Ugh. This one here. And matte white, who makes a regular appearance. So, starting with petroleum gray, nice and straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead and do the pole arm thing. No, actually, it is supposed to be wood. I'll figure out what to do with it later. Maybe I'll just like whack it with something. I don't know. Petroleum gray, incoming. Yes. Very good. Alright. And we're just gonna slap it all over the parts of the armor that are gonna be that like dark, you know, steel or what I call black metal. These. And the gorget. I hope it's called a gorget. I think it is. I could be wrong. Ah, hell yeah. Yeah, I am just going to do the pole arm as the same black metal. I'm already here, and I don't want to go back and come up with a new texture. We got enough going on in this guy anyways. What I might do actually is just like paint it with the same colors as the black metal, but give it like a wood texture, which is really simple. It's just, you know, instead of doing all the shiny stuff that I did on like the gold, for instance, you just kind of like draw on a bit of a wood texture, which won't be that hard because there's already kind of a wood texture in the sculpt. I can see it, but I think from where you're sitting, you're not able to see it that well. Alright, great. Petroleum gray applied. Go ahead and hit the area on the ground beneath him because it's a convenient time to do some shadows. That is the only reason. Great. A couple of spots I missed. Grand. Alright. First coat, done. Second coat, coming in hot with that French blue. Ah! That was too much. That's okay. Sometimes you waste a bit of paint. Okay. That is pretty good. Gotta get some a fine tip brush in there to clean it up a little bit more. But we're getting the look of it. And while I'm here, let's see if I can sketch in cool enough. What do you think? Look at wood texture. Kind of looks. That's got the look. Alright, switching to the fine tip brush. The one that I just cleaned. Sorry, pal. You're back at it. You thought you were out, but you're not. Get some white in here. I need actual white. There we go. Oh! Sorry, guys, I'm just in the juice. I'm also, like, close to having what I want out of this. Alrighty, that's looking good. Let's get the back of this thing that I think is called a courgette. I'm sure someone's going to correct me and be like, that's not a courgette. Courgette is a type of boot. Neck piece. Beauty. Alright, now we're getting into the just whites. I actually need more white. I ran out. And I need a new source of water, because this water is dirty. I'm almost there, guys. Almost there. Just gotta get a little bit more of this metal in. And I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be done. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? The bones. That's okay. I can do it now. Metal done. Got a mix of textures, a mess of different fleshes, a really rank looking individual. Super imposing posture. Just everything about him is screaming, "Don't mess with me." And I love it. Mixing myself up some bone color because I am too lazy to get some out of the bottle and I want to use what I got. There you go. Bone color. I lost some paint off this guy's elbow. I have to redo that. That's annoying. Must have been a spot where the primer didn't really take. And what I'll do is I'll hit it with some varnish when I'm done. Just to make sure it stays, you know, the way it's supposed to be painted. Alright. I don't really fuss too much with bones. They are these ones anyways, the ones that protrude. Because they, like, the point is that they stick out and they add to the silhouette of the model. Sorry, I was way out of frame for you guys. The point is that they stick out and just like add to the silhouette. So I'm like, fine with that. Can I get some red out of this? Does anybody have a little bit of red? Oh, there we go. A little bit of red, a little bit of white. Just to finish up that elbow that came unpainted. Weird. There's actually a few places where the paint's come off. Maybe I did a bad job priming this guy. Well, anyways. It's a moot point. Ooh-wee. Done.